Maria Janati and I'm from class 2A. My student ID number is A1DO2510174. Today I would like to present two topics. The first topic that I will talk about in the MBG program should be given to all Indonesian students. I think this topic is already familiar to us because the MBG program has recently become a topic that many people are talking about in Indonesia. There are many different opinions about this program, especially about whether it should be given only to certain students or to all students. So, in this presentation, I will share my opinion about why I think the MBG program should be given to all Indonesian students. After that, I will continue with the second topic, which is online learning and its positive and negative effect on student learning. In this topic, I will talk about the good and bad effect of online learning on students and how it can affect their learning process. Alright, without further delay, let's start with the first topic. So, this is the first topic of my presentation as I mentioned earlier, which is the MBG program should be given to all Indonesian students. In this part, I will talk about this topic in more detail. So, let's get straight into it. Okay, in this slide, I want to explain a little bit about the background of this topic. As we know, MBG or the Free Nutritious Meal Program is one of the Indonesian government's initiatives. The purpose of this program is to improve student nutrition and also support the learning process. Nowadays, nutrition is very important because it can affect students' health and their ability to learn. However, there are different opinions regarding this program. Some people think that only students from low-income families should receive free meals. Meanwhile, others believe that every student should receive the same benefits. Because of this different opinion, I think this topic is important and interesting to discuss. Alright, now let's continue to the next slide. So, in this slide, I present my opinion about the topic. Personally, I agree that MBG program should be given to all students in Indonesia. Why do I support this idea? Well, there are three main reasons. The first reason is fairness in education. The second reason is better health among students. And the third reason is improved learning focus. In the next slide, I will explain that reason one by one. So, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so the first reason is fairness in education. And personally, I think fairness is very important because school is not only a place to study academic subjects, students also learn values such as equality and respect for others. In the program is only given to certain students, some children may compare themselves with their friends. And this is especially true for younger students. They usually pay attention to small things, even things that adults may not notice. For example, they may wonder why some of their friends receive meals while others do not. And sometimes, this kind of difference can make some students feel labeled or treated differently. Of course, we do not want students to feel that way, because school should be a place where everyone feels comfortable and accept. So, that's why I think giving MBG to all students is a better choice. And I think this can create a more positive atmosphere in the classroom and help students feel that everyone is treated equally. Now, let's move on to the next reason. In this slide, I would like to talk about the health aspect. As we know, having a wealthy family does not always mean that students have healthy meals every day. Sometimes, parents are busy with work and may not always have enough time prepare breakfast. Because of that, some students prefer buying snacks that are not very nutritious. And if this happens regularly, it may affect their health. Through the MBG program, students can receive proper meals before starting their classes. And I think this is important because students need enough nutrition to stay healthy and active. This means that they can get enough nutrition and have enough energy for their daily activities. And of course, health food is important for growing children. A healthy body can help students become more active and enjoy their learning activities. So, I think this nutrition is one of the important things that can support students grow and learning. Next, I will explain how this program can influence student learning. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, now I would like to discuss the impact of nutrition on learning. I think this is one of the most important benefits of the MBG program. I think proper nutrition can help students have more energy and stay focused during lesson. When students have enough energy, they can pay attention during class. They can also become more active and participate better in classroom activities. For example, students may feel more motivated to answer questions or join class discussion. And of course, better concentration can help students understand the lesson more easily. Because of that, students may understand the lesson better and get better results in their study. Besides that, they can also enjoy the learning process more. That's why I believe that nutrition plays an important role in helping students learn better. Now, let's move on to the last slide. To conclude, I believe that the MBG program should be given to all Indonesian students. In my opinion, this program is not only about providing food, it is also about promoting fairness, supporting better health, and helping students learn more respectability. Therefore, I think that the MBG program should be implemented for all students in Indonesia. Overall, I believe that good nutrition is one of the important things that can help students grow and learn better. And hopefully, programs like this can give students better opportunities in the future. Alright, so that's all for my first presentation about the MBG program. Thank you so much for your attention. Now, let's move on to the second topic. So, let's go to the next part. This time, I would like to talk about online learning and its positive and negative effect on student learning. As we know, online learning has become a common part of education nowadays. Many schools and universities use online platforms to support the learning process. And because of that, I think this topic is worth discussing. Alright, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, in this slide, I would like to explain why online learning has become more common today. As we know, technology has developed very rapidly in recent years. Because of this development, people can access information more easily than before. One of the main reasons behind the growth of online learning is the development of technology known as the internet, smartphones, and digital platforms. Make it easier for students to access learning material anytime and anywhere. Another reason is the need for a more flexible education system. Because of that, students and teachers can continue the learning process even when they cannot always meet face to face. And I think this flexibility is one of the reasons why online learning has become more popular. Now, let's continue to the next slide. In this slide, I would like to talk about flexibility. As we know, not everyone has the same schedule and responsibilities. For example, some teachers, lecturers, or students may not always be able to attend face-to-face classes. However, with online learning, they can still continue the learning process through online platforms. Because of that, learning becomes more flexible and easier to manage. Students can study from different places without always being present in the classroom. And I think this is one of the advantage of online learning. That's why many people find online learning helpful in certain situations. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, now I would like to discuss some positive effects of online learning. First, online learning gives students more flexibility in managing their study time. Students can review lessons, watch educational videos, and access learning material whenever they need them. For example, if students do not understand a lesson, they can watch the video again or review the material by themselves. Because of that, students can learn at their own pace. Another positive effect is that online learning provides wider access to information. For example, students can use article, videos, and online discussion to support their learning. Besides that, online learning can also encourage students to become more independent. They need to manage their own learning process and take responsibility for their students. And I think this can help students develop good learning habits. So overall, I think online learning offers many benefits for students, especially when students use it wisely. Now let's move on to the next slide. However, online learning also has some challenges. And in this slide, I would like to discuss some negative effects of online learning. One of the biggest challenges is limited interaction between students and teachers. Sometimes, students may find it difficult to ask questions or communicate effectively through online platforms. Another problem is that not all students have equal access to technology and stable internet connection. And of course, different home environment can also affect student learning experience. For example, some students may live in noisy environment which can make it difficult for them to concentrate during online classes. And of course, not everyone has a quiet place to study at home. Because of this challenge, online learning may not always be effective for every student. So, I think these are some important issues that should be considered in online learning. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. To conclude, the growth of online learning is influenced by technological development and the need for a more flexible education system. Online learning provides many benefits such as flexible study time, wider access to information, and more learning opportunities. However, there are also some challenges, including limited interaction, internet problems, and different learning environment at home. Therefore, I think online learning should be used wisely as a tool to support traditional education. Overall, I believe that both online learning and traditional learning have their own advantages, and I think finding the right balance between the two can help students learn more actively. Okay, so this is for today's video. Those were the explanation or two interesting topics that I want to share. I hope you found them interesting and useful. Thank you for watching and I have a nice day. Bye bye.